Welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host, Eleven.
My name is Winnie.
And today we have a very special guest
That I am now going to introduce. Our next guest is a full-time accountant running a firm called Kagan. He started in the beverage industry 13 years ago, which he initially founded as a not-for-profit to raise money for his mom, who had just passed away. The side business continued to grow and expand, and here he is living his childhood dream as a drug dealer. Please welcome Adam Kagan.
Put your joints up for my man.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we were just off the recording portion, and we were saying that from the time that we met you to the time that we are now starting this podcast has not been very much.
No, it feels like it's been a few hours. That's about it.
Yeah, it has. I like him. I immediately met you and like you. You're tall, nice guy, and doing good things out here. You're doing exciting things, and I love that. So we had to sit down and have a chat skis with you.
Yeah, so we met at a cannabis event for Halloween.
Yeah.
And you were there representing a new drop in Ontario, a new beverage company called BRZY.
BRZY.
I was. You guys were dressed up as Mario and Luigi, and I was dressed up as some sort of beach-themed guy that didn't know what he was, so it was good. And we actually met. The first thing that we met doing is I was nervous taking a 20 milligram cupcake, and I was trying to convince someone to split it with me. That is kind of how we started.
Did you end up eating it?
I didn't know. I was a little nervous, to be honest. I had like a dinner with friends that I knew weren't going to be smoking or weren't going to be high. I would have been so done if I had it. But I mean, I was feeling good. I had a few breezies, and I was in a good place. So.
Dude, the breezes leave you feeling just perfect. Like, for those who don't like even take edibles on the regs, it's like that CBD. Just to dial everyone in, the BRZY, if you want to introduce it, you can. But I'll butcher it first.
I feel like you do a good job. So.
Awesome. It's such a wonderfully I know there's like several flavors, right? But the one that I tried was ginger and
yuzu.
Oh my God. And so it's, I think, 20 milligrams, right? CBD and one THC.
1 milligram of THC, just to activate the CBD. Funny enough, when I was actually starting the process, this was like over 3 years ago now, I was actually pushing to just do a pure CBD beverage. And all our consultants that we were working with pretty much told me I was wasting my time if I was going to do a pure CBD product. And they thought it was extremely important to add in 1 milligram of THC, or for that matter, any sort of THC into the CBD products to really help activate the benefits of CBD. So that was a lot of, and they were showing me different research documents and really kind of, were pushing that effect. So 20-1 is kind of the lowest dosage of THC that you would see put into a CBD product. But they also have different research showing 10-1, 5-1, or even 1-1 being very beneficial, at least to get those benefits from the CBD aspect. So we went with a 20-1. And it's kind of funny to see the products that have come into market, at least from the beverage space. A lot of them a lot of the big players, mostly Molson and Canopy, decided to do a pure CBD product, which is an interesting kind of, obviously they have the same research and access to all this stuff, but they probably do it for different reasons why they would go about doing that.
Yeah, because when you have a BRZY, it really gives you that like hug that CBD gives you like everywhere. It makes you kind of just like breathe and relax. And like I think three BRZYs, and then I tried one of, I believe I think you have a sister company kind of. There was another one there that I tried.
So from the same facility there, Impromptu, they have a kombucha.
Right, a kombucha. So I had that. So I had 4 things with 20 milligrams CBD plus each, and I do smoke every day, but like also like that much just straight THC edibles would have floored me, but that much CBD had me feeling like I just took a 4-hour bath. Like, I felt so good. We walked all the way home and didn't even notice.
Yeah, we were flying when we left that event, for sure.
So we love it, man.
I think it's such a nice, also, introduction for people who just aren't sure about THC or are even, like, a little scared, but are still curious. Like, I think that you would feel some effects if you had never taken THC before and you just have a BRZY, I think that
very small.
It would be very subtle, but I like the idea of it being like a nice way to introduce people to THC that's not aggressive.
Yeah, and that was definitely a big part of the concept. Like, when I was making this drink, I never wanted anyone to take it and feel like overwhelmed. I feel like we all have those like edible horror stories which have lasted like days, right? Like, this wasn't the beverage. Like, I wasn't calling this deep space or anything like that. Like, this was something that was going to be really approachable. There's been a little bit of a joke, like how you can give this to your grandmother and like feel comfortable.
Yeah,
totally.
And funny enough, we actually had someone do that. We gave the beverage to an influencer to try and see what she thought, and she thought it was uninfused. And so she gave it to her grandmother, and her grandmother drank it. And then we saw she posted, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, it's uninfused." And then I sent her a message. I'm like, "That wasn't uninfused. It has a THC logo on it. That wasn't infused." And she like messaged her grandmother, and her grandmother said, "Oh, it's all right. I actually enjoyed it." But yeah, I wanted the drink to be really approachable. I didn't want people to be, I didn't want anyone to ever drink this and ever feel overwhelmed. And yeah, exactly like you said, you drink 3-4 of them, and like you kind of get into a nice spot. Like, you kind of feel relaxed, but you're chill, but you're still like, able to interact and feel calm. And so it is a really interesting and unique experience, I must say.
And the presentation, how you did it in the bottle, like, for me, it's straight, like, we don't really drink anymore at all. Like, we've had really nice tequila here for years. We just don't drink it. We're not against it. We just don't personally feel like getting drunk. Like, it doesn't feel good in our bodies, maybe because we've inflated our cannabinoid receptor so much. But, like, the way that the bottle is, I mean, like, you have one there. We will have more on more episodes. But, like, this product replaces beer for me entirely at parties.
And I also love the bottle concept and the branding itself. Did you have a hand in?
Yeah, tell us how you started this and who you are.
Loose, like West Coast, like, I don't know, just chill by the beach vibe to it, and that's like right up my alley. That's where I want to live.
Definitely, it's this whole vacation feel. It does have a West Coast feel to it. Our designer, she's extremely talented, and I can't really take that much credit. I did kind of try to express, what I wanted people to feel, and so we definitely started going down this path of like vacation, easygoing, and it's all gone that route. The lady that we work with, her name's Sarah Guan. She's amazing. She's just done. So I'm actually wearing one of her t-shirts right now. These are the BRZY t-shirts.
Hey.
And she really didn't want to even continuously slam the logo on people. Like, she wanted to be, it's very different. She's done some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Love that.
Yeah, she doesn't really want to sit there and constantly be hammering the logo. Is one of the things, like, initially I was kind of like, oh, so, should we just put the logo on a shirt? And she's like, nah, that's kind of lame. Like, I don't know, like, she wanted it to have a bit more of a feel to it, and again, that whole experience.
I dig that, like, not just wanting to hit you with that brand all the time, but rather like give you, because what those images are kind of like what the culture or the feel of it is anyway. So you're still like accessing that point of like relativity for people, but that's very cool, man. Fuck
not constantly hammered, yeah. And
it's not a monogram.
Yeah, and you kind of go back, you're asking me who I am. That's an interesting question. I feel that's really deep. It's like that, I don't know exactly where we're gonna go with that, but
you are everyone, man. But honestly, it's we love to have discussions with people who have planted a seed and watched it grow. And this is not working for me. I love you. We find your endeavor extremely admirable. So, and we know that lots of entrepreneurs listen to the show. So we would love to hear how and when and why you just like started this beverage company, because you know, are an accountant, or you have. So this wasn't like a leap of faith, like, you know, so it's like it was almost a side project that became a bigger thing, right? So like that's super interesting. So please tell us a bit about how it started.
I mean, yeah, it's been constantly growing. It's been a really interesting adventure, the whole thing. So I was doing specialist in accounting and major in economics at U of T. And then I was obviously going through some family stuff where my mom was not well. She unfortunately passed away at the end of my second year of university. And I had a high school friend of mine who was going through a similar thing with his mom. His mom had passed away a bit earlier, and I noticed he kind of went down like a little bit of a dark path. And I was kind of seeing that, like, you know, that transition that he went into. And in my mind, I had this idea that I really like should use this kind of time to try to do something really productive. And I had this idea of this beverage company, and while I was at university, we were talking about oligopolies, and it was boring economic stuff, but it's essentially where a few players control the market, which was the case for Coke, Pepsi. Essentially, they control the beverage industry, and we were talking about how this is really inefficient. So this is 13 years ago now, and I'm thinking, well, you know, that was kind of interesting me, and so I ended up deciding to go into the beverage industry at that stage. Like, you know, as soon as my mom passed away, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this beverage idea I have, and any money I make, I'm going to donate. I was actually going to stop after the summertime and go back to school and pretty much call it a day. It was going to be like this little summer project. But I had like maybe 20 customers, most of them which still buy off me today. And so I had these customers. My dad, my brother convinced me to keep it going, and I did. I kept it going while going through university, and then I went through the CA path, and kind of more and more people just started getting involved, and the business was like slowly growing. I almost had this idea that it was gonna like all of a sudden just explode or something. You know what I mean? Like I had this sensation that it was just gonna one day just be this, like some magical thing was going to happen. It was going to be explosion, which it was not. It was like this slow grind and chipping and chipping and chipping. And then, you know, like you look at it 13 years later and you're like, well, I chipped away at a pretty decent amount.
Yes, so baby steps.
Yeah, it was definitely like baby steps, very grassroots. I never raised capital, which I thought about doing. I did go on Dragon's Den. We did strike a deal there, but it didn't end up like materializing into anything. So that was the first time I've ever actually asked for money, which was interesting.
May I ask who went with you? Who?
Well, yeah. So your company's called Deluge, right?
Deluge Water. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the original company that I started 13 years ago. To answer your question, we had two offers. We had one from Jim and one from Arlene.
Hey.
We ended up going with the one from Jim, but it didn't end up materializing. It was like they dragged us along for, I think, like about 6 months, and at the end they kind of said that they're not really into kind of packaged goods. It's not really their space, so because of that, they're going to pass. So anyways, it didn't materialize.
I didn't even know that was a thing on Dragon's Den.
Yeah, they don't put any guarantees. It's just like if they're interested. Well, the pitch was good. Look at this sweet guy.
I know.
Of course, I say yes.
The pitch worked out good. Selling water on TV, so it was it went pretty good overall.
Yeah, it probably helped. Being on TV probably like helped it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we've constantly just gotten more and more traction as time went on, and you meet a lot of really interesting people like yourselves. And one of the guys that I became really close with, which I was mentioning to you at the party, became like kind of like a mentor to me. And he kind of was, advising me, and he was doing a lot of our production. He still does a lot of our production. And 3 years ago, we were just at a lunch, just like talking in general about business, about life. And he just said to me, do you want to get into cannabis water? And I'm like, let's do this. And it's funny because I was essentially, I think I mentioned it to you as well, Whitney, where I was like he could have said, let's go sell hot dogs. And because of who he was in my life, I was down. I mean, he was, again, a big influential part of my life, especially business-wise. The guy is pretty impressive. And so he asked me to come on board, and we were the first products out of his facility. And we've just been growing from there. We ship products now. So we only have one flavor here in Ontario, but we have all 3 of our flavors in BC. Sick. And then we're about to ship all 3 of our flavors to Alberta as well.
Amazing. What does your mentor is what is he successful in, or what did he build a company in?
He is in the alcohol world. So they have breweries, wineries, distilleries, retail stores.
Beverages. Yeah. Beverages. Okay, so you guys know how to make them thirsty. You guys got some thirst traps.
I don't know. He's been doing it for a long time, and I guess he knows the alcohol space, which I've never worked there. I was always in soft drinks. He was always amazed. Like, he's like, how the hell do you manage to sell like water? Like, especially like that's such a difficult category. He always thought it was so crazy that I was in that space. So
that's so cool. It is. I mean, it's very impressive to sell water, but like, I guess it's filtered and everybody needs it. But like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, we do. We actually do spring water, so we don't actually filter it, just from the ground. But I mean, it's mostly like carbonated spring water, which we're competing against brands like Perrier and San Pellegrino, and we actually use that same spring water in our BRZY products. So
right? Because why wouldn't you?
Well, that's the space I've always been in. So yeah, we're using, it's award-winning spring water. Like, they have these, you guys would love this if you saw it. They have like big water tastings, which is crazy. I know it sounds crazy.
No, that's dope.
That sounds amazing.
Connoisseurism of water is fucking right on point for us.
And like, cannabis lovers would love a water tasting.
Oh my god. Water.
Yeah. They're hilarious to see that. I mean, it's amazing. They're big events. You'd be surprised. They're really big. Like, a lot of people in the U.S. There's probably the largest one in the U.S. in West Virginia, which I'm assuming you've never been to.
I've been to West Virginia. I've been to West Virginia several times. Yep.
Okay, there you go. That's not a place that people go to often. Why were you in West Virginia? Just out of curiosity here.
Yeah, I was in Virginia.
I don't remember.
I was on a tour. I drove a scooter through it.
It's a big story.
It's a big story. We'll go to it another time. But from Washington D.C. All the way through Virginia, and then North Carolina, and then I ended up driving down to South Carolina. It was a wild story.
I'm going to interrupt.
That's pretty cool.
Because we've talked for almost half an hour now, and we haven't even told anyone that BRZYs are sugar-free.
Oh!
Yes. Yeah, so they are sugar-free. They're unsweetened as well, so there's no artificial sweeteners. It's just spring water, natural flavors, and cannabis. So there's 0 calories, 0 sugar. Yeah, and I mean, that's obviously becoming a very popular space. It's, and it's interesting because when we're talking about this concept and this product, it's like we're trying to make a health and wellness drink that's also a social drink, which I don't think has ever existed. There's never been that health and wellness social drink. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's in PR, and he's like, those things contradict each other. And I'm like, why?
You know what though?
But
It's like the low key one that we use is kombucha. But like I feel you unless it's at the bar on a tap, which like one bar and I was actually doing a show at had one time that it's so rare to see. But if you could order like on tap or get a bottle of something that's actually good for you, like actually good medicine for you, like and looks sociable and cool.
Well, that's the thing is
pacing. It's all about pacing, social pace.
You have it up on the branding because kombucha is great, but like it's not like that nice of a bottle for like a social thing.
It
like,
is and
like
it isn't. It feels clunkier.
Like,
your bottles
like,
feel like they're like beer
like,
bottles, and the soft sipper of them. Like, were you in control of, or were you a part of? Sorry, like choosing the flavors and stuff.
100%. Yeah, we did tons and tons of testings, which were a lot of fun.
What was the? I was just gonna ask. Sorry to interrupt you, but what was one of the craziest flavors that you tried and put together?
Craziest flavor. We had over 20 flavors that we were trying. Like there was so many weird and different things. The weirdest ones were like ones mixed with chocolate.
Oh,
so like cacao powder. You know what? So there was a chocolate strawberry, and people were actually liking it, and it was pretty good. It was up there, like as far as like when we were rating them, and people surprisingly liked it. It was very unusual though, right? Because you just wouldn't expect that in a like sparkling water product. So it was very different. You guys are into the chocolate strawberry. I feel like from the reaction.
It seems like it clashes, like cold and bubbly, and then like
rich and
like it seems like a contradiction. But I bet it would be good once you're actually sipping it. But I would never buy it.
I also will say though, I would have like a glass of champagne and a chocolate covered strawberry.
There you go. So that is actually kind of what it's like. Yeah. Like it wasn't really like a rich chocolate. So the way, anyways, we have a food chemist that we work with, and I really admire him as well. This is a guy that just absolutely loves what he does, and I feel like I'm talking to people that I feel like love what they do as well, which is amazing.
Yes.
And he loves what he does, and he comes up with all these crazy concoctions and like these different tastes that go together. It's like it's so amazing. I feel like he's built with like 10 times the amount of taste buds that we have. It's like he's the guy you want at the party to make the cocktails. Like if I was picking anyone to make my cocktails, this is the guy that would be doing it.
Bro, obsession unlocks awareness, and then once your awareness is like unlocked, you can completely just like navigate with the universe. Like sounds like that guy's living in a flow state about terpenes.
Yeah, I feel I mean, when you love what you do, it's just you enjoy it, and you're doing it for your own cause. And for me, like a lot of what I do has been built around relationships, and it's like it honestly starts to become like you're doing things with people that you really like these people, and you really want to work hard to like do well for these people, and like whether it's my colleagues that I'm working with, or it's like, the manufacturer that's like a mentor of mine. It's like you really want to do well for these guys, right? So you're working hard for that, and then you just meet such like amazing people along the way, like yourselves, like I said, retailers that are working and like creating these amazing experiences at stores. Like there's so many, and to give credit in the cannabis space, the people that are working in the space, I feel like are truly passionate people and absolutely love what they do. And it's just a pleasure, like to go out and meet these people that really like. These people love it. It's not like they're not. I don't know. Something about there are certain personality types which like they're very focused on money, and for me that's not really like. I don't know. I think that's kind of like not the best way to go about making decisions. And in this space, I just feel like there's just so many passionate people and so many people that really love what they do, and it's been amazing, like meeting everybody. It's been really fun. It's been good.
I agree with you when it comes to like when you're navigating your career and stuff. It's like the relationships, the people that you get to connect with, and those moments. And I call it like collecting samurais. Like it's like collecting Pokemon, but it's like you're a samurai at like what you do, and like forever you'll be in my like hall of fame of people that I've met on my journey. It's pretty cool. I love that too. I share that appreciation with you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure. Okay, so you work full time at this your accounting firm, and then you are the founder of 2 beverage businesses. And BRZY's intention, or part of BRZY's intention, was to remind people to slow down and take a breath.
Correct.
And experience life. And so my question for you is, do you get to slow down and experience life when you're, navigating through a lot of work?
Yeah, and it's a really good kind of question and something to bring up. I feel like I'm really fortunate in the sense I'm very good at, once I finish something, I'm really good at kind of moving on and not dwelling on what's happened before. Wow,
that's a good skill.
Yeah, and I don't know why I have this skill, to be honest. I'm not exactly sure, but like people have pointed out to me that like I don't really dwell on things. So, once something's over, I put everything I have into what's going on in the moment. And then once I move to the next thing, like I get very focused on the next thing. So yes, BRZY is a way that I actually, once I'm done work, for example, having a BRZY is like the end of the day for me. And it is that moment where I'm getting to relax and take that time to myself. I do also really enjoy using sports for that. So sports I find are really helpful to disconnect and, again, take that time to ourselves and disconnecting a bit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, while I'm working, I fully try to be there as best I can and be present and focusing on what I'm doing and what needs to be done. As soon as I move to the next thing, I really try to, engage myself in that. And even, again, making sure I do take time for myself. I think it's very important for mental health in general, and maybe, I guess, sports-wise, sports are great for physical health or exercise. I think those things are extremely important. I think it's probably the most important thing that we have, mental and physical health.
Yeah, for sure. Good. It's good to hear that you're taking time prioritizing that, because I think a lot of like entrepreneurs probably can get lost a little bit for a while, and it's just like a bit unhealthy because they're running 22 hours a day and they're trying to sort this out for the first little while they're one-man team, and they forget about our mental and physical health. So
you can definitely get sucked into this world, and it can be 24/7. I talk to a lot of people, and thankfully in the accounting space I get to talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and see how they're doing, and I see a lot of different personalities and personality types. You can be 24/7 in your business nonstop, and it can get very overwhelming very easily. I do, like everyone that kind of knows me knows, I work really hard. I'm there when I put in a lot of hours, but I also do find the time to disconnect, and whether that's having a BRZY and just relaxing, or trying to get together with friends, or, with COVID, it hasn't been much social stuff, or sports. And actually, I guess you guys wouldn't know this, but I did just have my first child, who's now 7 months. So my wife and I, we just had a little baby girl.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're a daddy.
I'm a dad. That was a weird realization. I feel like I just realized the other day that I'm a parent. I still feel like I'm really young and I'm just starting my career. But the other day I was talking to my sister-in-law, and we're asking her if she wanted to come on a vacation with us. And we were going with another set of friends of ours that have a kid. And her response was, I don't know if it sounds nice, but I don't know if I want to do my vacation with just parents. And I was thinking to myself, I don't want to do that either. And then I realized I'm the parent. So that was the first real realization that's wait a second, I'm actually apparently. I was kind of just like enjoying the moment, like, oh yeah, a little baby, and it's been amazing and fun. Another little thing to throw in the mix to juggle.
Wow.
But yeah, that was like the first. I just kind of realized that I'm actually a dad, even though I still feel very young. I feel like I'm starting my career.
I think you are very young.
I think that
I am, right?
I think that you could. I think you could still just be both. Like I think just like you are, to always keep that level of optimism and enjoyability and like freshness to like your outlook on what you're doing is like entirely like where would be the most beneficial to stay for you and your companies. So just keep looking at yourself like that as a man, but then also I guess you got to clean up puke sometimes, bro. I don't know.
All the time. I'm lucky that I don't think I have any puke on me. I put on a fresh shirt for this just in case, but it sneaks up. It's like sometimes in the back. I probably should mention as well, like a little bit of another part of the business, which I haven't really talked much about, but sustainability. And actually, that's kind of how we compete in the sparkling water space, because essentially with the sparkling water products that we do, it's called Ontario Sparkling Water. We have a complete closed loop system. So we actually bring bottles, we take them back, we recycle them at a recycling facility we have in Toronto. And so sustainability has really been a big part. You know, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't even know why. I think about random stuff sometimes, although I just said I'm very, very present. I also spend time pondering things.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about like, you know, kind of like how businesses like got to a point where they're doing things that are not leaving our earth in a better situation than, you know, when they came in. Like people are really exploiting resources. And it's like, you know, I really wouldn't want to be that business that's sitting there and making the place like worse off than we were before, to try to, again, it comes back to that, you know, focus on profit and generating gain. And it's actually funny because right now having a closed loop system has actually been so sustainable, because now everyone's having trouble getting packaging materials and all this, but we just run it through our closed loop system, so nothing has changed for us.
Wow.
And with BRZY, we've actually partnered with Tree Canada, and we're essentially offsetting all our carbon emissions that we put out into the environment. So we actually had a big, we had a big tree planting event last week it was National Tree Day, which anyways, it was National Tree Day the other day, and we did a big tree planting event. Yeah, and so we're partnered with Tree Canada, and we plant trees essentially to offset all carbon emissions that we put into the earth. So every bottle that gets sold at BRZY, we're giving back to Tree Canada, which is one of the largest not-for-profits in that space, kind of protecting mature foresting and as well planting trees all across Canada.
You and your company are just so damn likable. Everyone listening to this needs to go give BRZY the follow, and just like, I love what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Thank you.
And you're setting a standard just by having a heart. You know, it's like now there's going to be another CBD thing on the market that like doesn't fucking like, you know what I mean? Like you are now the leading gold standard for.
I may be too nice of a person though to be running a business. That's the only thing I'm still trying to figure out. But.
Well, you'll gain those skills if you need them.
Yeah. So, sounds like you've already mastered the pitch on television, so you could always just go back to that.
You guys know this is my first podcast. I've never done this before, so
you're doing so great.
Amazing speaking points,
you.
though. Like, so good. I mean, it's easy when the shit you do is interesting and cool and exciting and like.
It's easy when you love it, right? When you love it and it is what it is. It's easy to talk about it. So.
Are you in the works for any other provinces?
Alberta is our next province that we just got the PO last week, and we'll hopefully be delivering by the end of the week. If you guys knew the loopholes that you have to jump through in this space, I guess you guys do know.
Dude, Winnie, with the shop and the owners of the shop, Mike and Brooke, like, it's been crazy. Like, they had to pay rent on their lease at their shop for like a year, like beforehand, and like all
It's a lot.
Precise, like, controlling, and it's kind of obviously just a money grab, but it's like, good, whatever, run it through whatever, like, program system you need to and please everyone, whatever. But, like, yeah, how has that been? You must have, it's kind of like having to have a law degree. Or you gotta, like, learn so much shit. Like, how has that hit you? How have you made the time to look? But you have a team that helps you navigate this stuff, though, right?
I do hire consultants and lawyers. I mean, a lot of it is on me. Thankfully, I'm extremely good at filling out forms. Like I literally, in the accounting space, that's what we do. We fill out government forms all day, every day. They're tax forms, so I fill them out with numbers. But I mean, I am good at filling out forms, I guess. So that kind of helped. But
yeah,
it is. There is a lot of hoops. It's like the stories are hilarious.
Bro,
what you have to do.
That skill that you have, though, is so valuable and important. I would be a millionaire on grants alone. You are you have a real. I think it is worthy to note that very valuable skill. Thank you for sharing that because.
Yeah. So if anyone needs help with the form. I mean, maybe not the best writer, but the form itself, like if it's punching in numbers, yeah, no problem. I do it very well. Such an embarrassing. The problem with it is it's really not good for social media. Like no one really wants to watch me fill out forms. Although maybe I could get like a YouTube following. What do you think if I tried to just go on YouTube, filling out forms really quickly?
If you simplify forms, so how it works for people like me as an artist is I'm scared to even look at the forms. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
we'll do it together.
Thank you, bro.
So
I think though you could maybe do something. Do you know what Twitch is?
Yeah, you could do quick. Actually, if we're talking,
I feel like I should. This is bad.
No,
I'm an accountant. Don't forget. I don't know all these trendy new things.
Twitch is live streaming, so people often share screens. Like 80% of the successful Twitch streamers are video game. They play video games, and you watch along as they commentate. One of my buddies, Matthew Santoro, is big on there with that. So you could literally demystify certain forms as like whatever tax things or write-offs, do a share screen and like narrate it, and that legit you probably actually would get some views.
Yeah, this would be the new age accountant. I feel like I would upset so many accountants because I would make things seem so simple and they'd be like, oh my god, you're exposing us.
Oh yeah, you're like a magician of numbers, like telling all the tricks.
Even if it was available for me to learn, I wouldn't learn it. I love my accountant. I appreciate them, and I will always. Yeah.
It is. So that is one thing that's amazing. The relationship with the accountant and the client, like that is a really nice relationship, and it's a very long lasting relationship, which is amazing. It's really great.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. You're doing God's work.
Yeah. For real.
It's more like government work, but it's more like God's work. It's government work, but we work for our clients, which is nice. Thank God it wasn't for the government. If it was for the government, it would be bad. But,
they think they're gods.
Yeah. Did you always want to get into accounting?
No, definitely not.
What was that? How did that happen?
So essentially, I had a really kind of tight knit group at U of T. There was 4 of us, so we were in classes together. I actually started in finance. I worked at RBC in my first year of university, and there was 4 of us that were very tight knit. We were really close. 2 of us one of them was in accounting, and the other 3 of us were in finance. And our friend that was in accounting, he was essentially the smartest guy at U of T. He killed everything. I don't know how he did it. He always said he just worked harder than us, but he was just way smarter than all of us. And he essentially told us, so in the first 2 years is pretty general, so you're all doing very similar courses. And then before we entered our 3rd year, he said, if you come into accounting, I'll take you under my wing and I'll make sure you get through.
Wow.
And 2 of us took him up on that offer, and he was a gem. He helped us so much, all the way through from, getting through U of T and making it really easy for us and helping us with assignments, quizzes, tests. He was always there.
Wow.
And then even into what I did, the CA route, he mentored us, me and my other friend, through the CA exams as well.
Wow.
So he really kind of held his ground and really helped us through the program. And actually, funny enough, so both my parents are accountants, just so you know. They actually started the firm that I now run, which is called Kagan and Kagan, because of both of my parents, which was started over 45 years ago. And as a kid growing up, I'd always tell my friend, like, they would joke around with me, oh, you're going to be an accountant. And I was like, no, I would never do that. That would never happen. This friend that told us that he would take us under his wing had no idea my parents were accountants. No clue. It was like, I never talked to him. Why would you ever talk about that, right? So he had no idea. And then later on, he found out. He's like, wait, why weren't you doing accounting in the first place? But anyways, it kind of worked out.
That's so funny, dude. Yes.
Yeah, but accounting is very boring stuff to sit there and learn. Like, it's not an exciting topic. But once you actually get into the work and you start to build the relationships with the clients, it is actually a very rewarding, and it's a very fun career in that sense, that relationship element. And, you know, a lot of the clients that we have known me my whole life. So that's also very interesting.
That is so cool, man. Wow, congrats. It just flowed like that. So you possess another vital skill and perception that you've unlocked, I observe through a lot of successful people that I get the pleasure of meeting, is you know when and where to seek out mentorship. That is like extremely, like some people just are built with too big of an ego, like from childhood or something. It doesn't allow them to you know, assume that sort of position to learn. So it sounds like you have some good wiring when it comes to there or something. Or as a kid, how do you feel like you were mentored as a kid? Like, what set you up to be able to look for that?
It's so interesting because honestly, no one's really ever brought that up, but I always do kind of look to people that, you know, I always look at, you know, what people are doing and things that I admire about different people. And like, you know, I feel like everyone has like such amazing qualities and they have amazing strengths. And I really try to understand. It's funny that you mentioned that. I never even really thought about it in that way.
Well, you have great perspective for that to start off with, just to be like for you to appreciate. I think a lot of people close the threshold of the greatness they can let into their life because they don't know how to like appreciate. But you have like a wonderful perspective on appreciating people, so it allows you to like accept that. That's like just blessed wiring.
I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I do really like, you know, there's people that I really look up to, and I feel like we kind of pick and choose elements that we think of other people's lives that we want to incorporate into our own. So, I mean, there's always this kind of, like that role model figure, or like, you know, what elements you like, but you kind of pick and choose and you decide what works for you, right? Like, I don't think any person is supposed to live the same life as anyone else. Like, I think we all have our own paths, our own journey. And I do admire a lot of things about, you know, different people and how they go about things, whether that's passion in what they do. I guess as a kid, to answer your question, they're like, I grew up kind of playing sports, and I was pretty interested in tennis and basketball as a kid. And, you know, my best friend, his older brother was a tennis superstar. He was like the best Canadian player we had. They were writing articles about him. He was like a big deal in the tennis world. He unfortunately had a bike accident.
Adrian?
Tore all the ligaments in his shoulder, and was unfortunately not able to, the doctors were telling him he was never going to play tennis again. A year later, he came back, he served underhand, and he was the top 30 tennis player in Canada, serving underhand. It was just an amazing story. He ended up going to Princeton. He played for the Princeton team. He coached the Princeton team later on, but he was a big role model to me in sports. And And I always like, he actually was the one that kind of pushed me to play and get more competitive and get more into it. And seeing him he was a role model as a young kid, seeing that. And then, yeah, so there was always kind of, but I always did try to look out for like what people were good at. I don't know why, but that's where I was interested. Like, what do people excel at? What are people good at? And try to kind of like learn from that. I feel like there's such a wide range of skills that like we can learn, and there's like everyone has their strengths, and it's like it's interesting to understand that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to uncover people's passions in that way as well. Our friend Humble says that is like his accountant actually loves numbers, and he's like, this guy could just like talk about it in all these ways, and he's made it like creative to even listen about it. And it's like whatever you want to learn about, you can find someone who's extremely passionate about it and learn from them, because they've managed to like turn it into flow state or something great. And yeah, observing someone with that thing, no matter what that thing is to them, is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But like sometimes,
I feel like that's what you guys get to do, right? That's you guys are going on this podcast and finding people that are really passionate about what they do, which is, it's beautiful, right? It's creative. I always admired this. Like, I've never been on this, or I have no idea how these things work really.
Well,
but
I feel like that's probably going to change for you.
Yeah, dude, you got a cool story, and you're just such a likable guy. I'm sure that you'll probably do this again and again.
This is one of many.
Yeah.
You really think so? So you don't think I bombed it so bad that no one will want me on their podcast or any other thing like that?
Expect some calls. I'll probably take a snippet of this and put it on our Instagram and say, if you want to hit up Adam for your podcast, get in that description and click him and invite him right now.
Yeah, and it can be set up within a few hours.
Yeah, he moves quick just like me.
Yeah, just a few hours, like a couple of days. Give him a couple of days notice and he's in.
Yes, fuck yeah.
So on our podcast, there's always a segment where we do a fun fact, because I really like facts. They're not always facts. I don't fact check them, and sometimes they're just statements. But we
I can lie about the fun fact. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But today's fun fact, I thought I would make it sort of beverage orientated. Related, yeah. We always do a musical intro for the fun fact, and normally we throw our guest under the bus and make them do the musical intro for the fun fact.
Oh man, talking about my weakest skill.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't want to make you do that if you don't want to.
Why, Adam? You can do it. Come on, let's make her intro song.
Intro song. I feel like this is my worst skill, singing, and then my next worst skill would be writing.
Okay.
I'm down to try whatever you want me to do. I may need to hammer a few more BRZYs to feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, hammer some more BRZYs, buddy.
Well, we can.
Okay,
we can do it.
Just yeah, we'll do it. Ready?
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Here we go. It's time for a fun fact. It's time. We're on with BRZY. We're gonna do a fun fact about something. It's coming your way. Fun fact. Fun fact.
And I'm supposed to say it now?
Yeah.
Fun facts. Canada holds 1/5 of the world's freshwater supply.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that the fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should have incorporated into the song. I didn't even realize. I was like, okay. It's my first time. I should have watched the podcast.
No.
No, it's great. Actually, normally I give the fun fact, but that was perfect. That was a
great.
Perfect fact.
Usually the guest does the song and she does the fun fact, but this time we did the song and you.
I like
I'm
it.
good with that.
1/5 of the world. 1/5. Those are the Great Lakes, aren't they? That's all that.
We have a lot of fresh water here. Whether you're talking obviously Great Lakes, they're a huge part of that. But if you ever travel in Ontario, Northern Ontario, if you think about everywhere, there's lakes everywhere. It's pretty much just swamps.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got that fresh water. We're lucky.
Wow.
Very lucky. It could become a pretty important commodity at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thing that you are connected to that.
And now we know you, so
if you need water,
thank you.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
we got
hopefully
this on tape.
Ontario will be good enough for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man. Well, usually on the show, Winnie's segment is the fun fact, and my segment is Do the Tao, where I read a piece of literature from a book. So I'm gonna grab like a mindful book here, probably the Tao, and I would like you to please select a number between 1 and 58.
Okay, I would select 7. 7 is my lucky number. I'm also born on 7/7. So.
Okay, the lucky number is 7.
I feel like everyone's lucky number 7, but the birthday kind of is the reason why that came to be.
I'm not lucky number 7. I don't choose that number. Oh. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think numbers are very special. When you feel connected to them, I think that's a thing.
I'm lucky number. I'm obviously 11, but here's. We rolled up this other little joint here. Just want to spark that up. Winnie, while I do the Tao.
Yeah.
Time to do the Tao. Tao Te Ching, number 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? It was never born. Thus, it can never die. Why is it infinite? It has no desires for itself. Thus, it is present for all beings. The Master stays behind. That is why she is ahead. She is detached from all things. That is why she is one with them. Because she has let go of herself, she is perfectly fulfilled. That rings true and resonates with the thing you're saying in the beginning about not making decisions just from like money. Yeah, being one with the intention.
I think that you have those qualities.
Yeah.
I think that you chose that because those are your qualities.
Yeah, and I think there's also a point there that stood out to me, which is, not necessarily going first and kind of letting others go first and being at the back. That's interesting. There's Simon Sinek. I don't know if you guys follow him at all. And he says something about, I'm gonna butcher this, but something about great leaders eat last.
Yeah.
Something about that word.
I love that. Yeah, staying back. I've been learning hugely in my recent years just that. I'm a real doer. A real throw myself to the wolves, and usually I make a show out of it. So luckily that's become my job. But like it's there's a lot more wisdom I think in your approach, and you just get to manifest things that are almost bigger because you're patient and willing to observe and be present instead of on the edge all the time. So that's beautiful, man. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna follow you at BRZY on Instagram. Do we follow you anywhere else? Is there any...
At Feel BRZY.
Feel BRZY?
Yeah, the handle's Feel BRZY for the BRZY Instagram, and then you can always follow me on my Instagram. I don't know, I haven't been that active these days, but I'm at Kagan 89.
Okay, cool.
And is that your birth year? Are you 89?
I am 89. We're the same year.
Me too.
I don't know if I'm allowed to expose that on the show.
Oh no, 1,000%. That's what I was gonna say. Same year, buddy. Yeah. Are we?
We're still young, right?
Yeah.
I can ask you that. We're still young. Yeah.
1,000%. Look, I just shaved, dude. I mean, feel like a baby.
So did I. I just shaved too, but I shaved this morning. This is the 5 o'clock shadow. It's scary.
You got any grays yet?
A couple, but not too many.
I call them genius grays. They happen just here.
Yeah, they're wisdom. That's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, this has been such a good conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, happy to have burst your podcast bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
it's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, it's been great.
We're totally excited to see BRZY grow and flourish and thrive in this industry.
And do this again, update in a while, and see where you've taken the company because I love what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any final notes or plugs or anything that you wanted to leave?
No, I feel like we covered a lot of ground. I feel like I really put quite a bit out there, which I don't typically do, to be honest. So it's been fun though. It's been great.
That's so
we love
good.
Openness and vulnerability on this show, so we appreciate that.
This is our perfect idea of episode length too. It's exactly an hour right now.
There we go.
There you go.
All right,
beautifully.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate everything.
Much love. See you, buddy.
Everybody.